Live from one of 18 quintillion planets, it's the SOGOpod.
Good day, everyone. Guess what? We're finally back from hiatus.
Yeah, I'm Frenk.
I'm Kenny.
Yeah, and we are going to talk about video games, apparently.
And make you feel sad and stuff.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
So, No Man's Sky.
No Man's Guy.
No Man tried, apparently, because that game fucking sucks, in my opinion. In my opinion, the only one that matters.
The opinion of a guy who had no idea what he was buying. He just said, fuck it, I'm just going to spend $60 on this game.
I knew enough about it from you and reading for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if you go to wakengame.com, you can read a review that both me and Kinder did for the game, where we sort of have a very similar opinion, though his is a little bit more harsh and cynical, and mine's more realistic and optimistic about the future of the game. But we both come to the same conclusion, which is, don't spend $60 on this game.
Right.
If you have, like, if you were in the camp that I was in, which was, you've been waiting for this game for 3 years, you got to play it to find out.
Yeah.
You know, that's really the only way. You can read the reviews, you can read all the problems, but, you know, I kind of didn't expect anything outside of what I had been told. And I have an extra long version of my review that I'm
bigger,
still
longer,
working
and
on.
uncut?
Yes, bigger, longer, and uncut. That will go up on the SOGOpod page that you can read at some point. That is going to go really deep, in depth, into exactly why I feel the way I feel about this game.
In fact, it might go balls deep.
Balls deep.
Ooh.
Go balls 3D deep. There's a basically my biggest thing is that I played a game in 2004 called Fable. And that game kind of ruined the concept of hype for me, because I was so fucking hyped for Fable after reading a few previews and hearing Peter Molyneux talk about it. And my idea of what that game was nothing like what that game actually was.
Well, I mean, let's not fucking sugarcoat it. He lied
Oh,
about
yeah. He lied.
a lot of shit.
Yeah, and I you know, I do put some of the blame on myself. I put more blame on Peter Molyneux.
Yeah.
There's a lot of blame that goes on me for raising the expectations, putting things onto the game that had no right being put on the game in the first place. But it doesn't help that Peter Molyneux didn't
You put the Peter on a pedestal.
Right.
That's what you did.
Peter Molyneux didn't do anything to quell
Peter
speculation.
Molyneux did nothing wrong.
Yeah, Peter Molyneux.
Peter Molyneux is Hitler at this
Yes. At least the trains ran on time.
Oh.
It was not a Holocaust joke. I was just talking about actual just train. Okay.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like the train to Auschwitz.
No. It's actually more of a Mussolini thing. Say what you want about Mussolini, at least the train ran on time. But the biggest problem I had with Fable was that it wasn't the game that I expected it to be. So from that point on, my sort of goal whenever getting hyped about a game is to temper my expectations and don't get too hyped about it and put things on the game that aren't there.
Yeah. Here come the Peter Molyneux apologists, by the way.
Yeah, I know, right? That man is Hitler. Like, there's no argument about it. The guy is a liar. He's a con man. He's a swindler. My opinion has not changed on Peter Molyneux.
That's the podcast title. Peter Molyneux is Hitler.
I think we already had one with a picture of Peter Molyneux called "Love the Way You Lie."
Yeah.
So, that does not change anything, because he's proven time and time again that he cannot be trusted to market a game, to preview a game, or whatever. This, on the other hand, I think there's a lot of blame that has to be rested at not the developers' feet, but at Sony's feet, because they took a game that was a small 4-person studio's pet project, and they tried to blow it up into a AAA title with a physical release that they could anchor their entire summer around and be pretty much their only exclusive this year outside of Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I mean, they can't rely on From this year. So.
Yeah. And I think Last Guardian's coming this year, too.
Oh, yeah,
so
that's right.
that's their holiday exclusive.
Yeah.
So we're talking beginning of the quarter, Q1 anchored by Uncharted.
Yeah.
Q2 anchored by No Man's Sky, and Q3 anchored by Last Guardian. Like, now granted, it hasn't been this way for a really long time because video games have changed with digital downloads and everything like that. But summer used to be the doldrums.
Yeah.
That's where all the bad games were.
I mean, there was always this thing on like X-Play or Extended Play where they always talked about the summer gaming drought.
Right, yeah, because just people didn't release in the summer. You release during the holidays, after the holidays. Those are your 2 time periods that you get.
But nowadays, you have so many smaller studios that are like, there's nothing in summer.
Yeah.
So let's release.
And a lot of companies try to utilize like E3 hype to get a game's bought and sold and everything. So they will just put the game out like a week or 2 after E3.
Yeah.
So they can coast on that hype. So so that's kind of changing nowadays. But still, it doesn't. There isn't really that much out, except for No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
So they're trying to anchor this entire month essentially on this one game that shouldn't have been $60.
Yeah.
But I think the only reason why it was $60 was because Sony was going to make it a physical disc-based release.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't have probably even come out this soon. It shouldn't have. Definitely it's not the kind of game, like, there's 2 ways they could have done it. Either they could have laid it all out. The moment they announced it, said, here is everything about this game you need to know.
Yeah. Instead,
they tried to be sly and a little secretive and coy about stuff. Or they should have just kept quiet about it and just fucking released it.
Yeah.
Like, those are the 2 ways they could have done it. They're doing this whole, well, we're just going to show you some stuff and we're going to be kind of, well, you might be able to do that. This might be something you could do. Like, that.
The thing that's killing
that works
me,
for like Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah.
Because it's a game where the story and the mindfuckery is something you want, and so you want to get teased and have it come out as you play the game. This is not that kind of game. You need to know everything about this game before you go into it. Otherwise, you are going to waste $60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing that's killing me is, this marketing strategy is bullshit, but it fucking worked for them. I mean, they're making ridiculous amounts of money on this game.
And I think there's going to be plenty of people who are going to refund it. There's going to be other people who are going to buy it.
But that's the thing,
and
they're
just going to forget about
especially
it.
Especially the Steam release. Yeah. You can only play for like 3 or 4 hours before you're out of the refund period. I am.
Right.
So the people that did that and read all the reviews, I think that may have been part of like I'm not saying all reviews are paid, but some of them certainly are.
I don't know. I think that just like
maybe not. Maybe not. Like I can't point out a IGN, hey Kotaku, or whoever.
I think it's like
this
that. The
person's a paid review.
IGN's 7 is like their 1.
Yeah.
I think that there's more of an issue with their rating systems and with rating numbers in general. Yeah. That like
I don't necessarily
because like a company is not going to
paid off.
I think Chris Antista of Laser Time he made a good point when he was on Video Game Apocalypse. He was talking about a company's not going to release a game if it's not going to get at least a 6. So you can just go ahead and assume that 6 is 1.
Yeah.
Like if 6 is like the bare minimum, they're not going to ever release a game if it's not going to get at least a 6.
Yeah.
So that's why 7's like the new 3 and 8's the new 5 and then 9 and 10 are like, and 9's a fucking big deal for somebody. If something gets a 9, they're like, oh, this fucking game sucks.
Yeah.
And that's also a lot of that has to lay at the feet of the gamers too.
Yeah. But what I was getting at with like the paid quote unquote thing, like I'm not saying outright, but a lot of the reviews that I read that kind of trashed the game to begin with, and then came back and said, "But it's still a good game, even though we trashed it like 3 seconds ago."
And I definitely didn't get paid.
And but you're also an apologist,
right? Exactly. I take the game's shortcomings as charming and cute, and like that. That's like. It's not a big of a deal,
But a lot.
It just
like,
raked my family.
All those seem to go along the lines of like it gets good so many hours in, and it doesn't get good.
Yeah, if that's not what you're in for, then that's just not. I mean, that's like I mentioned in the thing. Like some people just aren't going to like this game on principle alone. Like it just like you for instance, it's just not your bag.
Yeah.
Like I would not tell you if I was like for instance. Alan, my cousin Alan, he's really into League of Legends.
Yeah.
He tried to get me to play it. I'm like, I cannot fucking play this game.
Yeah.
The community is toxic. The gameplay is just confusing and tedious, and it's not my bag.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean those are bad games. Those fucking games have fucking billions of people like watching them on internet live streams and playing them, and like huge player bases, bigger than any other game out there. So maybe I'm the crazy one. Maybe I'm the one who's crazy for not liking League of Legends or Dota or any other MOBA.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just that that's not for me, you know? And so, like, I think that's the same thing with No Man's Sky. It's not going to be for everyone.
Yeah.
But it's the kind of game that should have been for everyone.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
Yeah.
It should have come out at $10 or $15. And, like, look at Minecraft. Like, that's the thing I go into another part of my giant review thing. That game came out of nowhere, made by one dude from Sweden. Everybody was just like, this game is really cool, everybody. It's only $10, and you can buy it, and they're going to keep updating and all this stuff, and it's kind of cool and interesting way of making a game. Oh, awesome. You know, what do we have now? We have Steam Early Access. We have Steam Greenlight. We have we have Kickstarter. We have all these things that are, like, versions of the Minecraft way of release.
Yeah.
That have grown out of just this one game, and it's only been out for 6 years.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that's how much Minecraft changed the gaming landscape. No Man's Sky could have done a Minecraft-like thing. Yeah. Now, granted, the problem was there are so many other games out there doing Minecraft-like stuff.
Yeah.
You have Rust, you have DayZ, you have all these other games that are survival exploration games that fit the No Man's Sky, you know, but it's not like it's...
Yeah. And I think that if it hadn't been released at $60, and I'll admit, some of the hype, I mean, I didn't believe a lot of the hype because I wasn't hyped for it at all.
Yeah.
But the hype and the price are definitely the things that killed it for me, because if it weren't priced at AAA, I wouldn't expect it to be AAA, and I probably wouldn't have as much of a problem with the running issues, which was a big issue for me.
Yeah.
Because
on the PC side of things, I just kind of didn't really even mention it in my review just because, like, one, it's not running that bad for me. It's perfectly stable, and I'm able to get but I'm not an elitist. I don't have the most top-of-the-line PC. I haven't put thousands of dollars into it. It runs fine, you know? But there's also people out there, you said, who have cards that are way older than your card, and they're getting 90 fucking 100 frames a second. So it's like, what is going on with this game? It's so poorly optimized.
Yeah, I mean, when you have the fucking GTX 1080, like the most powerful card on the fucking market right now, having trouble with this game, that shouldn't be giving it any issue.
Exactly, yeah.
You know,
and I think a lot of that issue does, again, lay at the feet of Sony, because they invested so much money into QA for the PS4, and, like, I'm sure Hello Games had access to Sony's entire QA department for the PS4 release.
Yeah.
But they had to rely on, the 4 to 15 people they have in-house right now making the game to test and optimize a PC version across multiple cards, multiple hardware specs. They just don't have the manpower for it. But they said, hey, we've got an entire QA team in-house now that's bigger than our development team.
Yeah.
So... And they've already got a patch in beta right now on Steam that is supposed to fix some of the major glaring issues until they can get more and more worked out.
Yeah.
So I figure 3 to 6 months from now, it just won't even be an issue.
Yeah.
It won't be a point of conversation. Probably 3 to 6 months from now, that game won't be $60 either.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the thing, too. You know, you had, like, Batman Arkham Knight was the biggest fucking flop in PC gaming history, I would think.
Yeah.
And because of the terrible optimization in GameWorks. But this one doesn't even have GameWorks as an excuse. It's just fucking runs awful.
It's just bad, yeah. It's just poorly optimized.
But that's the thing, though. It came out at $60, had all this hype up. It was trying to be a AAA title, XYZ. And then I'm sitting here playing fucking Lethal League. It's a fucking $1. You can get it for $1 right now on the Humble Indie bundle. And the game... Like, I have a fucking 6700K in this thing and a Fury X, and the game, like, has weird, like, this is a pixel game, by the way. And it occasionally has stutter, not really during gameplay, but, like, the title screen, and it has some connectivity issues. I mean, it's...
But you only paid, like, what, $5, $10
I didn't pay
for
that. I think I actually paid $2 for that in a different bundle.
Yeah. So it's like...
But, I mean,
you're willing to forgive those kind of things, but you're talking about $60 is a different.
Yeah,
I mean, horse entirely.
I don't know if this is a 4-man team or like a one guy or what, but I paid like a fucking $1 for it. There's no hype for it. I didn't expect anything out of it, and it's a fun fucking game,
right?
You know,
but it's also a completely different experience than No Man's Sky.
If No Man's Sky, if I had a lot of fun with No Man's Sky, I'd be willing to somewhat.
I will compare it to Minecraft in this sense, in that I paid. You know, I got on Minecraft very early. I paid $10 for Minecraft.
Yeah.
Minecraft now sells for well over $30. when you buy it new on PC, on console, and everything like that.
Yeah.
For $10, I got way more than my money's worth.
Yeah.
If you bought it now for $30, you're getting way more than your money's worth.
Yeah.
Because of what it is. But I would never buy Minecraft if it was $60.
Yeah.
Even though I know how much is in there and all the crap you can do. Still wouldn't do it.
There's really very few games that I would pay $60 for knowing what was in it.
Like, I was hesitant to pay $60 for Grand Theft Auto 5, and that was fucking Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
I'm
still
like, $60
really,
is a lot of
hesitant
fucking
to
money.
buy
That
it.
is nothing to sneeze at. Now, I put well over 60 hours into Grand Theft Auto 5, so I got my money's worth.
Yeah.
I usually go by the dollar an hour ratio.
Yeah.
But there's other games like Uncharted 2, which I paid $60 for, but I played only maybe 15 hours of it, but I enjoyed that 15 hours.
Yeah.
A lot. So it's like I'm willing to let that one slide, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of these games that are like very story focused, story driven games that are less than 8 hours or sometimes 12 at the most. Yeah, you're not going to get a full 60-hour experience out of it. And it's not got a lot of replayability either because it's like watching a movie. You watch it once, okay, I'm done. This goes on the shelf until maybe a friend comes over that hasn't seen it or something like that. But you still spent $60 on it, you know? And so,
like, even Overwatch, like, I fucking love Overwatch. God damn it, I love Overwatch. If you haven't played it yet, fuck you, get off your couch, join the phenomenon. It's fucking great. The hype is goddamn real. That's one game I will defend.
But even looking at Overwatch, I don't even know if there's enough there to
But, yeah, like, if I had to buy it again, it would hurt. I would fucking do it, don't get me wrong. I'd do it in a heartbeat, but it would hurt.
Yeah. And the same way with me, that's exactly my feelings on No Man's Sky, which is I don't recommend anyone spending $60 on this game, but I would spend $60 in this game again, you know, because I really like what I've enjoyed. I've put 12 hours into it so far and it just came out Friday, you know, and that's like maybe 3 play sessions. Yeah. So you see how long I've been playing for. And I do not recommend anyone play that game for as long as I was playing it because it can get really repetitive and you start to see the cracks and, you know, but that's the thing. Like, that's kind of what I wanted because I get cool stories out of it, you know, like I tell in my review, like that's exactly what I expected from this game.
Yeah.
Just give me
if I want a game that
story.
I can tell stories about, I'll just play Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah, but then you're just telling that story. You're telling your own story that emerged from the gameplay, from the...
You know what I'm talking about. Like ways you did things.
Yeah. I mean, there's some similarities between this and Metal Gear Solid 5 in the sense that, like, it's a big open world and you can kind of do anything.
You know what I want to see? Now that I think about
it,
I want to see No Man's Sky done in Fox Engine.
Yeah.
Fucking.
I just think like
Fox Engine is witchcraft anyway.
I think they've already said. I can't remember if it was actually like, but they said like the next update will have bases, and you can get this freighter-sized ships, which is like, okay, now we're getting somewhere, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be a trader, you need a bigger fucking ship.
Yeah.
The inventory is a major factor,
right?
And in the kind
and
of
I've
game
seen some
is,
big ass fucking ships, like 40 slot ships. You know, there's huge inventories. That would be great if you were a trader. But like I said, there are so many things they promised you that you can do, but it's all very superficial, and that's one of the things that feels weak about it. But it's something that they can fix.
Yeah.
Will they fix it? That's a that's likely, but it's also likely they will fix it. So it's like, are you willing to spend $60 on this vague possibility that a year from now we're talking about a very different game?
Yeah.
Even Minecraft, when I bought it, had just added survival mode.
Yeah.
You know, and that has become what Minecraft is to me. Like, when they added hardcore mode, that's my way of playing Minecraft. I will still get on every once in a while. I'm going to do a hardcore mode. It's fucking difficulties at its highest, and the moment you die, the world's deleted. Yeah. It's exactly how I want to play Minecraft. You know? So I ain't got to worry about it. I ain't got to think about it. I just go, I try to survive as long as I can, and I stop playing.
Yeah.
You know, that's my kind of experience, and No Man's Sky is the same way. It's like, all I want to do is go to a new planet, see some cool environments. Like, after I left that planet, that rocky planet with these like fucking amazing mile-long arches, these mountains that were literally cubes like laid into the ground, like these amazing environments. That's on every planet, by the way. Well, not just the Heridian spires. I'm talking like the mountains were as tall as like any other giant mountain you see, but they were literally like sheer walls and a flat top. You know, like you literally like giant, like a big ass cubic plateau, like everywhere, and every one of them was connected by these massive spires. Yeah, it's like this really cool looking environment with no life whatsoever. no animals, no plants, just a rocky surface.
Yeah.
It wasn't even toxic. It wasn't hot. There was nothing wrong with it. Just nothing was there. So it was just a really cool environment. And then I left there, and immediately the first place I land on is like the fucking episode of Magic School Bus where they went onto the mold.
Yeah.
And it's like all these giant like mushroom mold sports. That's what this planet was. Like the ground was green and moldy looking, and there were giant mushrooms everywhere, and it looked like fucking Alice in Wonderland or some shit like that. It was just this like insane environment. And then I left that planet, and then I went to one that was just like as close to Earth as you could get, but like somebody fucked with the saturation. You know, like all the trees are red and the grass is like a pale blue instead of and then another one I went to was fucking Hoth, basically. It's like, and this is just going to the different planet. Now, granted, when you get there, you do the exact same shit on every single planet. Yeah. You find an outpost, you find a thing, you find another thing, then you leave the planet, then you go to the next one, and then you get all the stuff, and you decide, well, finally, I'm going to buy all the shit, and I'm going to jump. And really what you're supposed to do is just keep jumping and going and going and going and going. But I want to see what's there. You know, I want to see the boundaries. I want to, I want to touch the edge, essentially, and see, what are we actually getting out of this? And I've run into some really strange and interesting creatures, but from looking at posts on Twitter and everything else, kind of maybe you can see the skeletal framework that they based all these creatures off of, Yeah,
I understand there's only so much you could do with procedural generation.
This is procedural generation. It's not random generation. There's a difference. Procedural means that there's a base that you work from, and it procedurally generates something off of that base. Yeah. There isn't just press a button and shit just pops up out of nowhere. There's a seed that they're working from, and so it's the same with all the creatures too. But I ran into one, and this is I didn't get a screenshot of it when it happened, and then how you can go through and you can view all the creatures you found, because I guess of what it is, you can only see the bottom half of it, like its legs are hanging out the top because it flies. Yeah, but it's not like one of the big flying creatures or just like a bird or anything. Yeah, it's like, imagine a dinosaur's body with the elephant's front legs and like dog back legs, right? And then it's got like a weird sort of rhino head, with like one horn in the middle, and then it's got two butterfly wings in the middle of its back on the sun between its shoulder blades, and so it's flying by these little wings, and so it looks like somebody's holding a puppy by the scruff of its neck. Yeah. So its bottom legs are all hanging down like this, and it's just kind of like floating around with its head down. And it's a fucking carnivore, so it was hunting me. So I'm being chased by this giant monster that just looks like the dopiest fucking thing in the world.
Chased by, like, what's his name? What's the caterpillar from A Bug's Life?
Yeah, it's basically Heimlich after he gets his wings. Yeah, it's like exactly like that. Like, that's what it was. It was being chased by Heimlich. And it's just like, and I named him Floopy, because I was like, that's the only thing I could think of. That's the only name I could think of for this guy. It's Floopy. Like, so, it's weird, crazy shit like that. And I ran to the next planet I went to. It was like these weird turtle armadillos with like banana heads. Yeah.
I did see one screenshot where it was like literally animals with watermelons for heads. It was strange.
Yeah, and there's a lot of penis monsters in there. A lot of monsters that just look like penises.
I like how Laura just walked in and heard nothing but penis monsters. Kinder, what are you doing on planet?
Right. But like there's like one that was, I mean, Carly found one that was literally just a dick that was hopping around. Because they had these occasional like mushroom looking ones. Yeah. They basically look like mutated versions of Goombas. But hers was literally like two ball sacks and the stem and a head just hopping around with a weird squishy sound as it was going. And I'm just like, that's perfect.
Welcome to Planet 4chan.
Right.
But I guess we'll move on from No Man's Sky. In closing, I'm probably not going to touch it again until
I'll
the game,
keep
not
you
my penis.
Updated.
I'm probably not going to touch it again, at least until
I'll keep you updated
fixed.
on what's coming, what's happened. Because I'm probably I'll probably put another maybe 6 or so hours into it, or maybe I'll try to get to the center of the galaxy. And then I'll probably put it away and see until when new stuff comes out. Because if they can follow a Minecraft-like trajectory and just keep releasing free and constant updates for the game and just completely change what the game is from now to next year, then as it goes, maybe sooner or later, it could, like the price. I feel like the price is at $60. Probably by holidays, it'll be down to $45. This time next year, $20 easily. Yeah, and it'll have all these updates added to it as well. Yeah, so I feel like that's a good trajectory for it to go on. You know, it depends on also like if Sony is still there, offering their financial support in backing this game, then they can keep going for as long as they want. Doing this
considering how much money they made off this launch, they should be fine for a while.
Right, yeah. And that's, I mean, when you're talking about the size of the team, too, it's not like they got this huge company to support, you know? It's probably not much overhead at all. So you're talking about, and it's just like, it's just crazy. I mean, like, I can't get over the achievement of it, though. Like, this game came out of a studio that started out with 4 people and at its peak development had 15. Yeah. And the last game they made was fucking Joe Danger. Like, like that's like they're not known for making these big, epic, crazy games. They just made this really interesting thing, and they can do with whatever they want, like because they have somewhere to go. Yeah. So, like I said, it's up to them, though. I have nothing to do with that. I wish I did, because I would be there saying, "Here's what you need." I'm sure they know. Because they made the trailers, so they need to make sure, because it's all there, everything they promise is there. It's just a weird sort of skeletal version of itself that you can't, and so it's like, yeah, okay, I could do all this stuff you promised, but it's not. There's no reason to do it. It's sort of like it's exactly the same problem with Fable. It's like, oh, you can be an archer or a sword guy or a magic dude, and it's like, yeah, but I could just do all 3 because it's just more. It's just better.
That's how you play the game.
It's just it just makes me OP and I'm good. And I can beat everything. But it's like they don't give you a reason to want to try trading. They don't give you a reason to want to try shooting down other ships and be a space pirate. There's no incentive or there's no incentive and there's no negativity to doing it. There's no reason to not just do it all, and try everything, or just keep playing the game exactly as you're playing it now, which is fly the thing, sell stuff when you need some money, buy a new ship, do this, that. Which you said, that's the stuff I don't really care about. It's the getting my ship, fly to a new place. It looks cool. All right, see you later.
And see you later, No Man's Sky.
Yep.
In other news, there has been a lot of new shit come out for Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Pokemon!
So if you haven't seen it yet, the Alola forms have been announced. There's still more being released every day. It's confirmed that we have an Alola form of Ninetales, Executor, Raichu.
Well, yeah, and with the Ninetales, there's the Vulpix.
Yeah. I don't know if all of them have first stage Alola forms or
which
not.
Would be weird. Like because we were trying to figure out, like, okay, there's an Alola form Raichu, but there's no Alola form Pikachu.
Don't know.
Charlie horse over here.
No.
Okay.
But yeah, so a lot of those have been announced. I think there were some newer ones too, weren't there?
Yeah, I mean they really haven't.
Oh, Marowak is one of them.
Yeah, Marowak. There's a dark version of Meowth.
Oh yeah, Alola Meowth.
Yeah,
and Persian.
Well, they didn't reveal Persian; it's revealed the Meowth. I assume there's got to be a Alola form Persian.
Surely.
Yeah. Maybe a Mega Evolution for Persian.
But I'm sure you guys have already seen it. But if you have not, by chance, seen the Alola Executor,
he's so great.
Fucking that thing has a spot on my goddamn team for sure.
Just a giant palm tree dragon, fucking dopey looking motherfucker.
This thing, you know how dumb Executor already looks. It's a fucking.
It doesn't make any sense anyway. It's a bunch of eggs that turn into a weird tree.
With eggs? It's like a palm tree with 3 heads. That already kind of look like the Three Stooges.
Somehow the coconut.
And the Alola form is pretty much the same as regular Executor, which is a psychic plant type or psychic grass type. But its neck grows about 10 feet longer, and the heads stay about the same. And it's just, and it turns into a dragon type for some reason.
Yeah, so now he's a dragon all of a sudden.
So yeah, that's going on my team for damn sure.
I find the Alola form Raichu to be the most adorable thing in the world.
It is pretty. No, I don't remember the name, but I know I'm going to nickname it Peekaboo.
Oh, the fucking
the fucking sheet ghost. It's some Japanese. I don't remember exactly.
Mimikyu.
Is that it?
Yeah, Mimikyu. Yeah.
So this thing is literally a sheet ghost, like a childlike sheet ghost with a Pikachu face drawn on it. Yeah. And it's the cutest goddamn thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm already a ghost guy anyway. Right, I really like ghost types. And this thing is just great. I love it.
Then there's that weird, like, sort of pedo bear looking one that's like the black and pink and white thing. And it's just like, that one's just like, that's just, somebody just kind of phoned that one in a little bit when it comes to Pokemon designs. And there's the one that's literally Donald Trump.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like this weird otter. And it's like the first version of it is just an angry looking otter with like a strange comb over looking thing. And then its evolution, he's wearing a business suit and he's still angry and has the weird comb over hair. It's like, you just made Donald Trump into a Pokemon.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh shit, I lost my train of thought. That was good.
Like, it's just ridiculous. It's like that's kind of, I mean, I wonder if that's like their Zigzagoon or Bidoof or whatever for this generation, like just their...
Oh, I know what I was going to say. There's a petition right now to include a new Pokemon. And the first evolution is, like, it's a small, like, monkey form type thing. Named Hambo. The evolution is a gorilla with, like, a club tail. Harambe.
The best part. I saw that and I was like, oh, that's really funny. And then I saw it again and I noticed its types. Ghost and fighting. I was just like, that's
yeah. If somehow by the grace of the Nintendo gods that thing gets put in,
it's actually a pretty good.
It's a very good Fakemon.
Yeah,
it's one of the best ones I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's like I'm sitting there like I thought it was real at first. I was just like, it's funny they didn't realize they shouldn't name that ape Harambe. Yeah. And then I saw that it was just like a fake thing. I was like, oh, that's really good though.
Yeah. But if they do somehow put it in the game, I'm definitely naming it Dicks Out.
Yeah. Somebody posted their screenshot of No Man's Sky, and it was their system, and it was called Dicks Out 4 Harambe. It was like DIXOUT, Roman numeral 4 and Harambe.
That's pretty good. So, you seem to have jumped on the Pokemon bandwagon for now. Yeah,
for right now. I'll stay on board until, there's things about the game that really interest me, because, like, again, I'm not, like, I fell off Pokemon a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm always interested when a new one gets released, but I don't get to really play them until maybe several years after it comes out. Mostly because I don't usually get a Nintendo portable system until several years after they've been out, Like, even when I had a DS, I wasn't getting the next Pokemon game, it's just
they just hold value,
right? And they are very expensive even to buy them used or whatever. So like it's just like, do I want to spend it on this or and because like there's a part of me, that's why I'm waiting for the NX to come out, because there's a part of me that's just like I really just want to play this on the TV, like. And so that's why it's like, okay, well, I know at least whatever the next Pokemon game is will be on this system, and I can play it on my TV, which is like huge bonus, because I have a hard time convincing myself that it's okay to sit down on my couch in my house playing a handheld, because that's just not what the concept is for. It's for on-the-go play or whatever. You know? So, and then also on top of that, like, if you don't buy it at the same time as everybody else, you can't really compete if you're doing any kind of like online.
It's already hard as hell to compete in Pokemon Online. I have trouble, and I fucking I've spent some real time building a team. I still have a hard time. But I've been on Pokemon since the very beginning. I never stopped. Yeah. And I love the series. There's a lot of stuff in it that I love, and I'll defend a lot of the games.
Mm-hmm.
X and Y, it was a good series. There was not a whole lot that I really disliked. I mean, there were obviously some things, like with every Pokemon, there's something wrong with it.
Right.
But I don't think I've been as hyped for a new release since Gold and Silver. I
think what they're doing is like, and I don't know if they did this on purpose. I mentioned it to you when we were talking about it on Facebook. Doing these Alola forms of everything that's out there is like, of the original 150 especially, feels like it's perfectly targeted time with the release of Pokemon Go.
Oh, it's
only being focused on the original 150. So you get the nostalgia kicking in with all the 20-plus-year-olds out there who played the original Pokemon, who had the card games, who, and you see Pokemon Go, how big it was. There are people playing Pokemon Go that you probably knew in elementary school had no interest in Pokemon.
Yeah.
That's how
my
big...
My mom is playing Pokemon Go.
That's how big this thing is. So they're learning things about these Pokemon. They're getting to know the silhouettes. They're getting to know the designs and everything and the names and all that stuff. And then getting to know things about the Pokemon and how they interact with each other and all that stuff. And then you had this new game come out. So I was like, hey, you know that really cool-ass looking fox that you had?
Yeah.
Well, now it's fucking ice, motherfucker. And people are like, whoa. Like, that's exactly what I feel like they're doing. You know?
I think it's rather genius, too, because they're starting to learn their crowd a lot better.
Yeah.
And the Alola forms not only put the old ones in there like you did with Black and White, Black and White 2, because there was a lot of the original 150.
I forgot that they had made a 2 of that game.
It's actually, I would say I had the most fun with Black 2, White 2 out of any of them since the originals. It was that good. Such a great game.
Yeah. How come they never did like the third version like they used to do on the Game Boy ones? Like, they did, gold,
maybe
silver,
they realized
crystal,
it was just overdone because they didn't do Z either.
Yeah, but then they have the animes out, and it's called X, Y, and Z. It's not called just X and Y.
I think it was originally planned for them to like focus on Zygarde and do a Z.
Yeah.
But there just wasn't enough demand for it, and they probably already started development like right after.
I'm assuming that's why if Sun and Moon came out, because Z hadn't been out for that long, really.
Well, Z's not there. There is no Z,
or rather, X and Y haven't been.
Well,
out
then
for
they
that
did
long.
Omega Sapphire or Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
Right. Yeah, and those were the ones that added the Mega Evolutions to those games.
Yeah. And what's really interesting is it seems like they're getting rid of Megas for this game and replacing them with Alolas, which. Genius, because what they're doing is they're setting themselves up so you don't have to keep up with these goddamn Mega Evolutions and the whole thing. You don't have to worry about the meta, and you're completely getting rid of those and adding in these new forms. They're setting themselves up to change every gen with their quote unquote megas. Yeah, and it's genius because now the meta every generation can be different. Yeah, because they can do whatever the hell they want. They don't have to explain shit. Yeah. It's just this is an area specific one. You're on fucking Hawaii,
so they can get they could get really area specific with other gens too.
Yeah,
you could see some Gen 2 area specific ones in the next release or whatever, and that's the way they do it. Cool. Then that way they don't have to make like 60 or 70 new Pokemon. They just have to make like 30, and they can fill in the rest with new versions of these old Pokemon.
It seems like every gen they have fewer and fewer original Pokemon.
Yeah. But at least I like that though, because like there are like I cannot tell you shit about a majority of the ones from like Gen 2 or 3. Like,
and I forget
maybe the starters, but then I see them pop up in like this, and like I'm playing through Y a little bit, and I'm just like, like I don't recognize. Are you from 3? Are you new? Like I don't know. Like. Because I know Bidoof and Zigzagoon. I've seen them before in pixelized form. I know they come from older games, but like when it comes to like things like I'm like, is that a brand new thing? I don't know. So like that's kind of stuff that I wanted to like that I kind of want them to move away from anyway, is introducing so many brand new Pokemon, because also like I feel like the designs have gotten a lot weaker since the original games.
You can't help it.
And I mean that's the thing though. I mean like it's asking a lot, because those original games were like literally like this is a fox. Yeah, it's got 3 tails. This is
miles tails per hour.
Right, and this is a weird clown creature, and this is another like this is a woman with blackface. Like
transvestite with blackface.
This is a transvestite.
This is Mr. Popo from Dragon Ball Z.
So it's like here's like these different weird versions. Like, and there are a lot of weird ones in the original 150, like Taurus. What the fuck is Taurus for? Why is he there? What does he even do? Yeah. He's just a thing.
What do you even do?
Right. And it's like, and you could, but you think look at something like Mew, like especially as a legendary, such a simple, clean design.
Yeah,
that's it. Pikachu, Pikachu, not so much Raichu. I think Raichu's design's a little messy.
A little overdone.
Yeah, I think it's a little overdone. But Pikachu by itself, just a clean design.
Yeah,
Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, even all their evolutions, very clean. Just But then they get this weird thing where in the later generations, it's like, yeah, they just need like a weird bulbous circle on there somewhere.
Yeah.
And like weird fins for no reason. Like, okay, why is everything like in future space? Like, let's just slow it down. Just take an animal and combine it with something. It's not that hard. We figured this out already. You know,
like over design is a really big thing because that was Pokemon's advantage when they started out was all their designs were nice and clean and
you could recognize the silhouette from a distance.
Yeah, where
it's
Digimon,
good for advertising.
Where Digimon, you had like everything had like 20
Skull
blades on
Greymon
it.
and Metal.
Same thing with like Yu-Gi-Oh, over designed like fuck, but it was trying to appeal to an older crowd.
Yeah,
where Pokemon, that was their strength was simple design, and they are getting away from that. And now that they're having these Alola forms and Mega Evolutions and stuff, it kind of gives them an excuse to do it where people won't get pissed off about it.
Right, yeah.
Because
when something evolves, you expect it to look different and a little more complicated, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, you look at like what's there and you see its evolution and you're like, yeah. That makes sense.
And you don't have to worry about their silhouette or their space they're in, and they're not like that permanently, so it doesn't irk you as bad.
Yeah, exactly.
So you want
not to mention you have so many.
Just add some fucking blades to that motherfucker.
Yeah, and now it makes sense. He's got 7 wings. Okay, you know, like they're the designs in like the biggest issue for me is like, especially Gen 1. There's so many Pokemon that only have 2 evolutions.
Yeah.
They just have the first stage, second stage. That's it. And the Mega Evolutions give them an excuse to go back and say, well, now we kind of have a third one for this one that never had one before, you know? Instead of going back and just creating a brand new thing like Pichu.
Yeah.
Like that fucking shit pissed me off when that first happened. It's like, why the fuck? We just had this Pokemon. We've had this Pokemon for like 3 games now. And now you're telling me there was a baby one? Like, that just exists?
Yeah.
And he's more complicated in design than its second stage, you know? Like, shit like that was just like, that second gen in particular has had a lot of shit like that, where it was just like...
Although they did spawn the babies, the tier in the... shit, what's the hell? The competition... Pokemon.
Yeah.
The under evolved or baby tier is actually really fun.
Yeah. So you just keep your stage 1 Pokemon, but
level
beef
100
them up
Pichu.
as you.
But
really
I think
good.
Unfortunately I think now it actually includes unevolved, like
So it's like you caught it at this like level. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like you have Squirtle against like literal babies. They're meant to have low stats and shit. Excuse me. Well, yeah, that's the thing about this gen. It seems like is they've gotten their designs back back where they need to be. A lot of them I've seen are actually really good. I fucking love the Ghost Pikachu. He's Peekaboo in my mind now.
Peekaboo is a really good name. I don't know why they didn't go with that.
I don't know why they didn't.
Unless they're gonna have different versions of it. It's gonna be like they're unknown, where there's like, oh, he's got a Charmander outfit. Oh, he's got a Squirtle outfit.
Would be so good.
That would be really good.
God, please do that.
I mean, and even the new ones that they revealed, like the wishy-washy fish thing, which turned into a weird skull ghost fish thing when it's in school form or whatever. That seems cool.
Yeah, and they're doing more original designs and original concepts.
It just looks, like they just they're very simple and clean designs. Like that fucking otter is just a fucking otter, and that's it, you know. And they did kind of leak out the evolutions of the starters. Did you see that? At least the final stage, but they look pretty fucking dope. Yeah. Although I do have an issue with this is the problem I have with like Blaziken, the Digimonetization of like the higher evolution Pokemon. Yeah. Where it's like, why does he just look like a man? You could fuck that Pokemon if you wanted to. He just looks like a dude.
That's a big thing, like especially on some of the more active Pokemon forums, is that the fire type for the past however many gens has always ended up being a bipedal firefighting type, and everybody's tired of it.
I believe that's what the next one's going to be.
I really hope not. I really hope that they go quadrupedal, because I've seen some really, really good Fakemon designs, and a Fire Panther.
Fuck yes. The leaked one was like, he's a fucking professional wrestler. Yeah. Which I'm okay with. Like, let's fucking give him
we already have like 3 of those.
Yeah, there's like, we can have a league now.
NXP.
Yeah.
But,
like, and then like the fucking Rowlet design as a like archer, forest archer thing.
I can dig that.
Looks really cool. But again, he just looks like a dude.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that Pokemon. And then Poplio turning into like a beautiful siren with like still like a weird seal thing.
It's the opposite problem with the water types is that they keep going quadrupedal with them. Like, let's have a bipedal fucking water type and a quadrupedal fire type, for the love of God.
Yeah.
Like, the plant ones have been the only ones that have been mildly interesting lately.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I
normally play
anyway.
Yeah, I mostly play plant anyway. I don't know, second gen with like Trico and all like that one was really like kind of weak to me.
Trico was the superior under-evolved one. It ended up kind of sucking with Grovyle, though.
Yeah.
I do still really, or was it Sceptile was the final?
Yeah.
I really like, what's the final evolution of the snake? The grass snake one? Oh, motherfucker.
See, I don't know.
I know it's a regal Pokemon. I can't remember for the life of me the name of it because I'm on mic right now, of course. But the final evolution of the snake one. Oh no, that was Trico's evolution, wasn't it? Or was it? I don't remember.
So.
I haven't played those games in so long. Anyway, I really enjoyed that one, especially with the new contrary ability unlocked finally. It's fucking good. But I mean, there's just so many things about these games I'm really hyped for.
And then you got the Battle Royale mode. On top of all that.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I forgot about
you just
that.
get a fucking shitload of people who are all fighting each other, and winner...
We need Rocket Grunt Josh in here right now to fucking correct my ass.
Yeah, I know, right? You just need to have, like, when it gets closer to release, or when it does release, just do another Pokemon-centric episode with him, because I'm over here just like, oh, no.
Well, you know,
Squirtle.
I mean, whenever you'll pick it up, too, so you're actually kind of in on the hype now, and you know a lot more than you did before, so we'll be able to have a 3-man
I will tell
episode.
anybody out there, this kind of goes along with this conversation, just go buy a fucking 2DS. It's only like $80. And
it's $80 brand new
with Mario Kart 7. And you can also find ones with Yokai Watch, which I recommend playing Yokai Watch if you like Pokemon. It's a good game. At first I thought, wow, this is very linear, but then it like as you start like the battle system
does a whole
like,
Final Fantasy 3 on you.
Yeah, it just fucking opens up. You're like, oh fuck, okay. Shit, I gotta play this whole game now. But yeah, but you can find them new with Yokai Watch or Mario Kart 7 and $80.
Yeah.
$80.
We picked up one
brand
for Damien
new
for Christmas, and it looks slick. I thought it was going to be really childish looking,
it's
but
really good design.
It is
it's
a very
solid.
good design.
It's made by Nintendo, so it's gonna fucking be it's gonna be pretty durable.
Yeah.
And the fact that like I don't know if this is the case, but I feel like it might be the case. So like currently on the 3DS, that's two separate screens, obviously.
Yeah.
That one on the bottom is a lower resolution than the one on top.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's the case with the 2DS because that's actually one solid screen under there.
Oh, really?
They didn't put two separate screens on it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because if you look at they put this big piece of plastic right over the top one so that you can't, because it's got to lay as low as the touchscreen does on the bottom one, so it's got like maybe that much space between the top layer of plastic and the top screen.
Yeah.
Because it's just a single screen. There's no point in putting two screens in this thing if it's not going to fold,
True.
So I don't know if that means that the top screen's less resolution or if it means the bottom screen's actually more resolution. So
I don't know.
Could be one or the other, but either way, it still looks really clean, really sharp.
Look at the specs of that.
I mean, it's got all the same features you'd expect except for the 3D, which not many games are using it nowadays anyway.
I can't remember the last
and
time
I played through all of... I mean, and there was a lot of like moments playing Link Between Worlds where I was like, this seems like it was designed for you to have 3D on while you're doing it. But then I'm like, still fine. Played it, beat it, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, I played it without 3D on, and I fucking... Oh, God, if you haven't played that game,
so
fucking...
that's exactly what I wanted to. I was just like...
If there were ever a game that deserved the hype and more, Link Between fucking Worlds.
Didn't get any fucking love from anybody for some reason.
Well, I was on
you were
V
on
a lot at that point, and it was hyped as fuck, and it turned out to be great.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I haven't gone on V a lot, but like it feels like when the Game of the Year conversations came around, everybody's just like, it's a handheld game. Like, no, this game is like the game of the year. It should have gotten a lot more attention than it actually did. I'm sad that I didn't get to play it when it first came out, but I got around to playing it now, and it's like, shit, this is...
By the way, I need to get my copy back when you're done.
Exactly. This is my type of Zelda game, you know? And there's a lot of, games on the 3DS, like a shitload of fucking games out there, like... You can barely scratch the surface of it going out to a store and looking because there's just so much out there with like all the great Japanese imports of Nintendo exclusive games.
Yeah.
If we want to, we can talk a little bit about the NX rumors to finish it all out.
Yeah, we'll do that and finish it out. Try to keep it down to about 5-10 minutes.
Yeah. So anyway, Eurogamer had this sort of article, and it wasn't really like anything new. It was all the same information we'd already heard before, but somebody finally put it together and collected it into a single thing and sourced all their own. Get all their own anonymous sources and everything, kind of combine it all into one article. So we got to a little bit more concrete information on what the NX is going to be. Yeah. So I can assume we'll hear about the NX sometime after Tokyo Game Show, which is soon.
Yeah.
We also have Gamescom coming up, but Nintendo doesn't really have a presence at Gamescom.
Yeah.
Well, really what somebody explained to on a Bombcast in the letters section was that Nintendo of Japan doesn't have a presence, but they usually will have a presence but it's like, here's all the games that are coming out in German.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like they're not going to announce anything brand new at this place. So what we know is what it seems like it's going more towards the handheld that you can play on TV as opposed to the console you can take on the go.
Yeah.
Which, okay, that's fine. So that means it's going to be a little less powerful. I still think it could probably easily play at a lower resolution because that's all it really needs to worry about.
Yeah.
It could easily play PS4 level, probably, you know, because if it's on the handheld, it doesn't have to be 1080p.
Yeah.
And if it's on your TV, that box that you plug it into could have some extra horsepower in there or something, you know, or an upscaler or something like that.
What I've seen is that a lot of laptops now, or not a lot of laptops, but they're a lot of companies now are coming out with like these things that you plug in that have a desktop GPU. To go with your laptop, you just plug it in and it goes.
Right, yeah.
And I'm wondering if they're not doing something like that.
And I feel like that would be kind of thing you would want to do if you're talking about like an NVIDIA Tegra chip, which is what's inside of it, you know. Yeah. So
I don't like that it's NVIDIA, but it's not going to stop me from buying the system. But it's also like
they're the only company releasing a high-end mobile GPU right now, you know. So this is what you're kind of getting, which I'm fine with because that's what powers the NVIDIA Shield. It also powers, you know, and so that thing. I mean, there are videos out there that thing running Crysis at high, you know, like, you know, it's like, it's okay. That's the benchmark, right? Like, isn't that what people still use?
Yeah, I mean, it is GameWorks.
I feel like, and just the fact that, like, just alone, the fact that Nintendo's console development side of things and handheld development side of things will be focused on a single platform.
Yeah.
You don't need third-party support.
Yeah.
Because now you have literally countless games that could come out from the system that just are Nintendo games.
And I'm thinking that we're going to get a lot from there that we've always wanted. Like,
yeah, and just the fact that the new Zelda game is going to be on that, and it's also going to be portable. Yes. You could take it on the go. Like, that shit just blows my mind. Like, I'm just like, okay, I might not buy it on the Wii U. Then I might just sell my Wii U and get an NX.
At this point, I'm not even fucking considering a Wii U anymore. I want
Mario Maker's
really good. I want Mario Maker. I'll probably pick up a Wii U if it's not supported fully on the NX.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be though. That's what it seems like. It seems like they're going back to cartridges or at least cards. You know, like
which is
SD
long
cards.
overdue, by the way.
Yeah, you would think. Like, but I guess there was always an issue with like loading and everything like that with like these higher.
Why not do
games.
Solid state though? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I mean but it works for Vita, and there's a lot of plenty of high caliber 3D action games that are on this fucking handheld, and the cards are this fucking small. Yeah, you know, so it's like why not do it?
That's what I haven't understood. Like SD cards have been out for how long, and they're cheap to manufacture.
And you get like. You can get like 128 gig SD cards like easily. And you can get like micro SDs that are up there in that range.
I have a 16 gig in my car.
You're talking like this is a Blu-ray disc can only hold 40. If you dual ray, you're at 80. You know, like so. Okay, at the most you're gonna get 80 gigs out of this Blu-ray disc. Okay, that's more than enough for these modern games. But you can get 30 plus on a cheap card nowadays. Yeah, and if they can just source really cheap cards, they could easily.
I'm sure there's more to it than we're putting.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, because I mean, they just have to. They're gonna make a proprietary design or whatever. They're gonna make a proprietary design so that they can get people to DRM essentially, you know, physical DRM, so that you don't have people making R4 cards for it, like you have with the, you know, because that will happen. Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm interested in it, of course, because it's a new Nintendo platform, and I'm always interested in a Nintendo platform. Yeah. I'll always be a Nintendo fanboy at heart, no matter how much they disappoint me over and over again.
I think everyone from our generation is going to be a Nintendo fanboy.
Because you look at it like, let's face it, people like to shit on the GameCube, but the GameCube was the last great system they had. Yeah. The Wii, for its huge numbers, for them, was a disappointment for a majority of people who are fans of Nintendo, because almost all the versions of the games you enjoyed, they're kind of not great on the Wii. People really like Super Mario Galaxy, could not stand it, could not play it. Like, really? Not my cup of tea.
I have it, but I haven't gotten around to
playing it. Same with fucking Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess.
I like Twilight Princess, so I'm still defending it.
I just can't. It's just an ugly mess when I played it on the Wii. I just like if it was playing it on a standard definition TV, a CRT, it probably would look great. Yeah. But I had seen HD visuals from a video game, and going back to this low-level crap was not going to work.
All right. And we're at, 55 minutes now, depending on what we do to edit? Yeah. So that's going to be it for the SOGOpod, everybody. Hopefully we'll be able to get back on somewhat of a schedule. We can never fucking guarantee that we'll come back in 2 weeks, so I don't count on
it. We will be back soon.
We're officially off hiatus now. Yeah. So I hope you go and read that article on wakingame.com. We're not really partnered with them, but I write for them.
We like to
pretty
write
regularly. And they're nice people.
And if things go the way I hope they will, I will probably try to get more writing done in general, and they will go up on the SOGOpod page. Mostly sort of musings and things about video games, because I'm not one for reporting. You can go to other websites for that shit. Yeah, I never. Where people get paid for shit like that. Yeah. I don't get paid to tell you, they put a press release out for the newest NVIDIA card. And
I mean, honestly, who's going to come to our site to read that?
Exactly. But you will come to our site to hear me bitch about some stupid video game that got released.
And don't forget to go to facebook.com/SOGOpod and Twitter @TheSOGOpod. And also www.SOGOpod.com, because we just fucking spent some money on renovating a site. So please go there.
Check it out.
All right. Later, tater.
I can't tell you what it really is. I can only tell you what it feels like. And right now it's a steel knife in my brain. Why? I can't breathe, but I still fight. Well, I can fight as long as the wrong feels right. It's like I'm in flight. High off a log, drunk on my head. It's like I'm huffing pain. I love it, the more I suffer, I suffocate.